Two great questions. Actually, I'm just going to take moderator privilege here and comment on education. I actually wrote down earlier that education matters in all of this. So for any of you who are wondering what you can do, everyone you touch in your personal life and world, you should be emphasizing the value of education. We're not going to get any of this done without education, and every one of the people in this region has to submit to that. And we need liberal arts majors, but we also need people that are disciplined in the STEM disciplines, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we've got to instill that in some of these younger folks who drop out on the sciences by the time they get to 5th and 6th grade. Every one of these panelists is talking about technology and activities that are going to flow from that. And so this is critically important. And I'll then open that to Art to comment as well.
I'll take the first one. Workforce development is obviously important in most of our organizations. Last year, Magnet chaired the second, only Kansas City had a pilot program that the National Association of Manufacturers ran called Dream It, Do It. And we launched about a year and a half ago the second one in the country. And the idea is to get young people targeted between 18 and 30 or 18 and 35 interested in manufacturing. At the time, and these numbers might be a little skewed now because of the downturn, we have 5,000 jobs a year in Northeast Ohio just opening up from retirements. So our idea was just to get people interested in it. I mean, yes, we do want people to be engineers and stay with the math and sciences, but just to accept the field. And to prove people this wasn't Dickens-like, and that if you're good at video games, you'll be great in a manufacturer, because mostly it's all CNC control driven now. And we didn't have a ton of funding for it, so we ran it for its course with some results. But there are jobs right here. But I think if it's so interrelated, as Don said, if you don't feel like you have a career, and you leave school and you just kind of wander, or you don't know what you're going to do, it's not going to be very successful. There are very ample careers in manufacturing that yes, you can start. You're not going to make $80,000 a year in Northeast Ohio on the shop floor, but you're going to make a good living with good benefits. And if you want to go back to a technical school, most companies provide that. We have partnerships with all the community colleges, so there are ways to employ young people right now that come out with a high school or equivalently degree if they want to take advantage of that. And that's really important. They have to be able to see that there's a career out here, and to go work in a service industry and pop around between here and here with kind of a nomadic outlook is really a vision we all have to collectively try to change.
Don Misheff.
And I'll give you a little bit of a fact. We have a part of our offices here, we have national offices here. But we probably transfer in every year 20 to 30 higher level non-partners and partners every year in and out. It'll shock you how many times they say, wow, the education around here is fabulous. Yet we always paint it as if it's absolutely terrible. So I'm not saying, but I'm saying, we aren't perfect. We're far. We got a lot of work. I'd spend the other $8 million that I didn't spend of his 10 over there. But I'd say to you, we do, from an outsider, so when they look at our network of private schools and public schools and universities surrounding us, they think our education's much, much higher. But I'd also support things like the mayor of Akron just tried to pull off. He wanted to sell the sewer system to give every kid that came out of the city of Akron with a high school degree free education at the University of Akron, four-year college degree. Now, you had to stay in Akron, and there were some parameters, a little complicated, but it crashed. Okay, there's a great opportunity where we could step up.
That's great. Anything else on the education piece? Then, Tom, would you like to address the FDA question?
Yeah, let me just take a moment on the education piece too, Dorothy, if I may. I think, you ask a great question, and to Don's point, I got asked back several years ago to be the co-chair of an organization called Invest in Children here in Northeast Ohio, which was a real eye-opener for me. And when you ask the question about education, it's amazing when you take a look at how the 0 to 5 year age group needs to be impacted positively in order for the rest of their educational lives to be successful. So where on the continuum do you begin? And I don't know the answer to that, but obviously early is better. Secondly, if you look at our state's budget, the single largest line item in the state's budget is education, and we're facing a major budget crisis now in the state. I think we do have an opportunity on the education side, however, to do some workforce planning. Not to make every college or every university a trade school, but we know, for example, in healthcare that we're going to see a significant shortage of nurses and other clinicians. We know there's going to be a shortage of physicians. We know there's going to be a shortage of virtually every profession in healthcare. One of the things we can do today is to begin that workforce planning in terms of what our needs are going to be by some point in time certain. And I know Eric Fingerhut, the Chancellor, has an opportunity now to make an impact here, and I applaud him for his efforts in that regard. But there's no easy answer, because the 0 to 5 years being most important, is that where you invest your money, or is it somewhere later? And we'll leave it to others to make that determination. On the point you raised about the FDA, I think we need to remember that the government's efforts are always in everyone's best interest in the area of public safety. So when they're evaluating the work that we're doing, evaluating the science, making certain that we're doing the kind of research that we need to do to make certain that a drug is efficient and effective, or that a device is going to make a difference in people's lives, we need to remember they're trying to do the right thing. The only point I would raise in this regard is, just like is true in the United States, where we used to be the hotbed of virtually all ideas in science and technology, manufacturing, and so forth, well, a lot of that is happening now on a worldwide basis. And I think we have opportunities to look all around the world where there are safe, effective procedures that are being undertaken, where there are new devices, new technologies, new drugs. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel every time we're starting in the area of a device or pharmaceutical or something of that nature. So where we have the opportunity to learn on an international basis, I think we should avail ourselves of that and work through the process so that it doesn't become, if it's not invented here, then we can't do it here, of a mentality.
Today at the City Club, we've been listening to a special program featuring BioEnterprise Board Chair Tom Zenty, Jumpstart Board Chair Chris Schmid, Magnet Board Chair Arthur Anton, Team Meal Board Member Don Misheff, and NorTech Board Vice Chair Thomas Bradshaw. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, Dorothy Baunach, for moderating. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are now adjourned.